everyone, welcome back to Rebecca's Colouring Arts and Crafts. So I'm just quickly doing this. I've got a bit of a headache and that, so I probably won't hang around too long. I'll just see how long this goes. But I actually had a Fairyloot box that arrived today, and I was actually surprised because I think I told you last time about the fact that I'm still chasing up my June Fairyloot box with Fairyloot, and all of a sudden I thought this was my August box coming. But no, it's actually the June box that's turned up. So I sort of just opened it and had a look inside. And unfortunately, as you can tell, it's been a bit bashed up with the box. It's all got a bit of water damage by the looks of it and all sorts of things like that. So I have no idea what has happened to it. But I'm surprised that the June Fairyloot box actually did show up, because I love my Fairyloot boxes and I was kind of feeling disappointed, thinking I might miss out on this one. So yeah, I was feeling very happy and very lucky that this one actually turned up. I have no idea where it's been for a couple of months, but it's basically been a couple of months since it was sent, and it just went kapoof, and Fairyloot said it hadn't been sent in their system, and I'll send a copy of this unboxing to them. But yeah, I'm really happy to have it. Unfortunately, one of the books did come just with some minor denting and just a little bit of minor tear to it, but I guess that's to be expected considering the fact that it's been bashing around in the mail for the last 2 months kind of thing. And it's sort of, as you can tell, it's sort of, well, I guess not as much padding this month, but it's still good anyway. And I'm really shocked that this did turn up and show up, but I feel so happy and glad that it did, because I can't actually track them, because whenever I go to the tracking number, if it's not the Hermes site, if it's some other site, it goes to Dutch. And sometimes it's like the Hermes site, it sometimes updates and sometimes doesn't update till after it's here with all the stuff, and so it's kind of confusing at times. But yeah, so this is the June box, and our theme is a different kind of magic. So that's our spoiler card, but loves the artwork as usual. And so I sort of had a bit of a look just to check how things were after spending so long in the mail. But yeah, so what I'll start with here is we've got this awesome, it says Alice's Teapot Loose Leaf Tea Infuser. So these are our little details of it, and it says it's always time for tea, Alice in Wonderland. And it's a Fairyloot edition, Fairyloot one. But yeah, that box is really cute. I need to work out, oh yeah, I put those things back in my room that I wanted to eventually wash myself when I'm able to with my hand and wrist and stuff. I'm kind of, well, I've got some, I think I said, whilst I've got someone else cleaning and stuff for me, I don't want to put it out because I don't want to risk them getting damaged or anything. Yeah. So what we got in here, you'll see underneath there is a little tray to sit it on after it's done. This is, I will admit, this is my second little teapot infuser, but this one's actually got a cute little tip on the end. So I actually do have another tea infuser that I got a while ago from, I think, Magical Reeds Crate, that was similar, but I actually think I like the Fairyloot version better, just because of the fact it comes with this cool little keychain on the end saying "Drink Me." The other one does not have that, and I really like that little feature of it. Yeah, it's a bit shiny there with the light on. But yeah, and the next thing that we got in here, and I did have a look at these before, and it sort of says on them, but this is a set of bone season socks. I recently put out a whole heap of bookish socks that I had, and my mum's like, where did all these socks come from? And I'm like, oh, bookish things, bookish boxes. And she's like, oh, okay, kind of thing. But I thought, I don't know if I'm actually going to use them properly till after this, just because of the fact after my ankle's sorted, because I tend to lose one sock of a pair regularly because I'm only using one sock. So I probably won't really use them till after I can get things sorted with my foot and ankle, but really happy to have them. And I like the ankle socks, and I also like the other ones, but these also look good because they don't look too big for my foot size. So you'll see here, it's sort of roughly about right for my foot size. And sometimes a lot of socks come that are a bit big for my foot size, so that's good. And the patterns are nice too. Okay, so we'll do what we can here. So the next thing we got, I think, is our pin, and I have watched videos of these because I was dying to know what was in them and stuff like that. So this is a Shadows Between Us inspired pin, and sorry for the reflection of the light. So this says, love is an excellent motivator to kill. Oh, okay, I didn't end up with the Shadows Between Us book, but from what I saw, because I wasn't able to get the subscription because I cancelled because of surgery and blah, blah, blah. And I wasn't actually able to get the subscription till April again, so I actually missed out on the Shadows Between Us book edition, but very cool. I actually really like the enamel pins. I've been starting to put some on my pin banner, but I've got others that I've gotten recently that I need to put on the pin banner. Another thing I like about the Fairyloot boxes is the pins actually come with the metal backing rather than the plastic backing as well, with the enamel pins, which I really like that sort of feature, shall we say. And look what I've done. Good one, me! That's what happens when you try to do everything one-handed. It does pretty much every single time. And then the next thing I've got here is, and I love how Fairyloots now, rather than plastic packaging, they're now putting stuff in paper packaging with the Fairyloot seal on it, which is nice. But the next thing I got here is the Starless Sea iron-on patch. And I haven't actually used any of my iron-on patches yet that I've gotten. I'm just currently keeping them all in case I have a day. Like, maybe I might even just want to put them on like a tapestry type thing so that I can, or like, I guess create my own tapestry type thing so that I can put all my bookish iron-on patches on that and have them in a special place to display if I ever get my library or something like that. Don't know. We'll work it out, I'm sure. But yeah, it's very, very pretty. And I love how they've sort of got the actual gold thread in there as well, or gold metallic thread with the embossing to make it sort of reflective. And the next thing here, let's see, can I find the opening? Yes, I can. Hang on, sorry. You get an extremely close-up view of me trying to open this one-handed and awkward. You do. So this is a set of elemental coasters. I don't actually know where these are from, so I'll have a look. I can't remember. Apparently Avatar: The Last Airbender these are from. So, let's see. How can I do this? Yeah, that'll work. Okay. Sorry, this is a very awkward looking video. So, the next thing that I got here, well, as I said, the Last Airbender elemental coaster, so I'm guessing it's based on the different elements. So we've got fire. So this one's earth. I'm not sure which way the earth symbol goes, but I don't actually know the Last Airbender series. I haven't actually read them, but always awesome to, even though like a lot of the time I haven't actually read the books of these series or necessarily know this. Like, I've heard of the series, but I don't necessarily know the series and haven't read it, don't own the books, blah, blah, blah. But I still like getting the items anyway, because it's just nice to get some bookish items and something to enjoy. And so this next one is Water. And then is this one like Wind? I think it might be. Because the red would be fire, so I think this one might be Wind. I was just tossing up, is this one fire or is it wind? But yeah, I'd say it's Wind. Yeah, awesomely amazing. And I really love the quality of Fairyloot's items as well. It's really, really good quality. And their customer service, I've actually had really good experiences with their customer service as well. Just due to the fact with what I've had happen with things, I've had really good experience with their customer service. So the next thing we got here is our tarot cards. And this is I don't know which fandom these are from. It says Throne of Glass, but I'd say they're not Throne of Glass. And I wouldn't have read this book, so I don't know. I know it's probably bad of me, but I've never read any of V.E. Schwab's books at all, and I don't own any. Yeah, it's just, I've got so many books to read already that I don't feel the need to collect every single different type of book from every single different type of author. Like, I know not everyone does that, but I just feel that for me, like, it's more like, when am I going to get to reading it kind of thing. I've got my Goldsboro books coming. I got my Fairyloot books and boxes coming, and I want to get to reading them sometime. I've got my review books. I've also got all my other books on my shelves and special editions and stuff, and it's like I just don't feel the need to necessarily collect books from every author. And like, whilst at one point I was considering getting some V.E. Schwab books, I decided not to, just because I do have so many to read. I kind of don't feel it's necessary for me to get them. But yeah, I'm sure they're an enjoyable series and I would enjoy them if I had them, but I don't have them, and well, funds and that, I kind of have to be picky with the books that I can get. And yeah, if I want to keep my Fairyloot box, then my Fairyloot box and my Goldsboro Sci-Fi Fantasy Fellowship and Premier Club, I can't necessarily get every other type of book. Plus, as I've said before, I'm putting other than the odd random new series that I collect, like from my Fairyloot boxes or from Goldsboro or whatever, I am actually also, shall we say, basically trying to focus on finishing series as well, because I can't always buy them on release date, so I sort of want to work on finishing those when I can, in between the medical stuff and the health stuff and blah blah blah. But yeah, anyway, back to the point. So this is the Ace of Swords and the Two of Swords. I'm guessing it's from, I think I heard someone say it was from a V.E. Schwab book, but as I said, I haven't read any of her books, so I wouldn't know for sure. Also, just an update too, I don't know if you heard this with the colouring stuff. I tried doing some colouring the other day, and my art, colouring and art, and unfortunately it really did not work with my hand and wrist. I also tried to, I also now know it's pretty certain that I have the hypermobile Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, and it's also found out that with that I've also got postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome, which is like my blood pressure drops when I stand up or that at times, and I get dizzy and headachy and could pass out and stuff, but also orthostatic intolerance, which is like the low blood pressure basically. So that's what I know for now, and possibly to do with my stomach stuff and health stuff, I'm going to have to look into seeing a specialist doctor about that eventually in the future too. But And I also have Asperger's on top, which apparently also comes in with Ehlers-Danlos and frequently connects with the Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. So, yeah, a lot of news, but it's something that I kind of want to share now to show that even if you've got issues and health stuff and all of this sort of stuff, that you can still achieve what you want in life and achieve your dream and just do something you love, kind of thing, even if it's hard, even if your health can affect things, even if the injuries can affect things, which explains why I injure myself so easily and all of that. But yeah, I just wanted to say that. And the next thing I got here, I think this is a print from Blood Air, from what I remember. And I really loved Blood Air. I got to review it. As I said in the past, I don't know if I'll be able to get the Goldsboro Books edition because I was, shall we say, friends with someone that fell out. She got the book. I paid her back so that I could get the book. But I kind of understand why Goldsboro Books doesn't necessarily offer the pre-order thing to people who get the book through someone else, even if it's sent to them, because then it makes it hard. Anyone could claim it and then they won't have enough for everyone, and scalpers or something could get the second book and all of that sort of thing. So it's sort of, I guess, harder to keep control of the people who didn't originally buy the book, because someone could contact them that didn't actually originally buy it, that someone else bought it for them, and they may not have actually bought it or all of that. So I can fully understand why Goldsboro Books does it that way, and I actually appreciate they do it that way. But yeah, it's kind of sad, I guess, too, but I guess it is what it is. There's not much I can do about it, but yeah, yeah, I guess it is what it is, kind of thing. I do love Blood Air. I wish that I could get the Goldsboro edition, but I'm sort of not hugely expecting it right now as it stands. But yeah, either way, I'll just be grateful for whatever I can get. And yeah, I love my Goldsboro Books editions anyway. And who knows, they may offer early access to it via there, but I'll say probably not, because I'd say they'll probably offer early access to people who pre-ordered it first and all of that. And yeah, I really do appreciate that they do that, because I've benefited from that with book series that I've been collecting too, like Aurora Rising and all of that. But yeah, this is a gorgeous art print, and I love how it's set in the snow. This world is really set in the snow. It's beautiful. And this is our main character. Oh, I can't remember her name now. Her name and his name, but basically he's a thief. She breaks him out of jail. She's got the ability of being able to control blood, which is a rare ability. And yeah, I can't remember all the details, but I know that I really loved it, and it's been a while since I read it. That's probably why I can't remember all the details, and I've been reading other books since, as I can. But yeah, really, really awesome. And so the next thing we got here is our first book. This box actually came with 2 books, and this was this actually isn't released till spring 2021 for the general public. Unfortunately, because of all the time that it's spent in the mail, it did come a bit creased in the corners. There's a little bit of a tear to the cover down there, which I might try gluing or something if I can. Not too bad there, but there's also just a little bit of creasing in this back corner as well. But it's gorgeous. I just wish that it hadn't, unfortunately, come a bit damaged. So yeah, you'll see here, like, I know it's not really bad or anything, but I guess it's not as bad as it could be for being beaten around in the mail for the last couple of months. But yeah, oh, there's another bit up there. It's a bit damaged up here. Let's see, can you get it to focus? Yeah, there's a bit of the foilings come off up here and things like that. But I guess for all sakes and purposes, I guess it isn't the worst it could be for being beaten around in the mail for the last 2 months. So I'm probably lucky in that aspect that it only came with the minor damage that it did. I probably am, because this would be from just being in the mail that long kind of thing. But yeah, I'm really, really lucky to have this. So we got the Gilded Ones by Namina Fauna, and from what I know, I think this is an exclusive foiling, exclusive sprayed edges. Let me just check. So it features a foiled filled cover and sprayed edges. The book will become available to general public in spring 2021, and we're so happy that we're able to bring you it a lot earlier. So this is actually a finished copy, it seems. So we got Gilded Ones. We got like a teal sort of sprayed edges, which are beautiful. And then it says on the back, are we girls or are we demons? Are we going to die or are we going to survive? In this bold and immersive fantasy, a young heroine fights to save a world that would dare tame her and discovers she is her own fiercest weapon. So let's just have a look inside. I'm just going to have to watch that I don't accidentally tear that bit of the cover thing. So here's a bit more of a description. So it says, Decca lives in fear of the blood ceremony that would determine whether she can become a member of her village. If she bleeds red, she will belong. But on the day of the ceremony, her blood runs gold, the colour of impurity, of a demon. The consequences forced Decca to leave her village with a mysterious woman, destined to join an army of girls like her, the Alakai, girls who are near immortals with rare gifts, and the only ones able to stop the Empire's greatest threat. But as she journeys to the capital to train for the battle of her life, Decca discovers the Great Walled City holds many surprises. Nothing and no one are quite what they seem, not even Decca herself. So there's a bit of a warning there about scenes of violence, which some readers may find distressing. I'm not really worried about that. Then we've got our map, our book map. I'm showing you this as best I can. This is normally how I open the books. I don't open them any further than this. But it's awesome. So looks like it's the world of Otira. In our first chapter. So yeah, very, very awesome to have. And I really love that cover. It's so pretty. And then our final book here, our final thing in the box here is actually our Fairyloot book of the month of June. I still can't believe that it actually showed up, because when Fairyloot checked they said it hadn't shipped, and yeah, it was really, really strange, and they're still trying to chase up what exactly happened. And so yeah, it's a shock to just all of a sudden have this turn up out of the blue kind of thing. So because when I spoke to her a couple of days, she said, well, till she finds some answers, she can't really tell me what they can do or what they can offer or any of that. So it's like, which is understandable, but then it just shows up. So yeah. So first thing we've actually got here is our monthly bookmark for the month of June. I think I showed you those a while ago. I'm collecting these monthly bookmarks, and they're awesome as usual. And then we got our Fairy Scoop, which we'll look at specific features shortly. There's our July theme, which is a bit out of date now. I've already done the July box. You've got our what is it? Our image with our author letter on the back, which I'll read in a minute. And then we got our book of the month, which is Forest of Souls by Laurie M. Lee. And hang on, sorry, this is very awkward with my hand and wrist the way it is. So it says on our edition, it says, this Fairyloot exclusive edition has an exclusive cover, artwork on the reverse of the dust jacket by ARZ28, and is signed by the author. So we'll have a look at that in a minute, but first we'll have a look at the Fairyloot comparison, and we'll also read the author letter. So this is we've got our little author interview as per usual, little bits of details about our author, the read along, which I typically miss because I have got, it's just a lot to read. I would like to join them, but it's kind of the time thing. So this is our different edition for Forest of Souls. So I don't think there's, there might be a change to the cover a bit too. So standard edition, standard cover with yellow and orange text. And our Fairyloot edition is an exclusive cover with light green text. But I also noticed this part here at the very back behind her looks a bit different too. Like it looks lighter. So it's just this part looks lighter and a bit different, which is pretty. And then we've also got artwork on the reverse of the dust jacket, and it's signed by the author. And I love that about Fairyloot, the exclusive edition books and signed bits by the author, and yeah, it's awesome. Just put that down there. I really, really enjoy that. So we'll just look at our author letter first. So this says, "Dear reader, Forest of Souls sprang from my love of epic fantasy. I wanted to create something with the same breadth and magic as the books that always felt like my literary home. I didn't yet know, though, that it would become the kind of book I desperately needed when I was younger. As part of the diaspora, I grew up with princess, fairy, godmothers and mermaids who traded their voices for legs. But I also grew up with tiger demons, shamans and Hmong folktales, is it? I wished on falling stars and I knew not to point at the moon, else it would slice my ear as I slept. And yet, even as a lifelong love of fantasy found its place in my heart, I never quite found my place in fantasy. With Forest of Souls, I wanted to give diaspora teens a place in fantasy and reaffirm that they belong there just as much as anyone else. Ultimately, though, my greatest hope for Forest of Souls is that the Shearer's story will resonate with you and become a haven to which you can escape, as fantasy has always been for me. Love, Laurie." So yeah, it's our awesome art print. And then we got our book here. And I lost a purple bit. So I'll just look at the spine and that first. So we got, this is what it looks like. It's just so pretty. And, page. That's what it says. I'm guessing that's the company that's published the book. And then on the back here, and it's still green instead of yellow and orange, I'm assuming. And then this one has also actually come in amazing quality for 2 months of being bashed around in the mail. Like, it's not damaged at all whatsoever. I cannot see a speck of damage on this book. So I'm guessing the Fairyloot dust bag really, really protected it. So yeah, that's awesome. And then we've got here, and we've got a gilded spider on the book, which is cute. I don't know if they mentioned that, did they? No, that wasn't a special feature, so I'm guessing that's something that comes on all the books. We've got Forest of Souls just in gold. And this is our art print here. Just so pretty. I really, really love it. I love how Fairyloot's now doing these as well as sprayed edges and that. This edition didn't come with sprayed edges, but it's still awesome anyway. Fairyloot typically does do a lot of sprayed edge exclusive edition books. And so inside it says, "I have no family, no home, no talent other than fighting. If I'm not to be the shadow, then I am nothing. I am tired of being nothing. After years of training to become the Queen's next royal spy, Saoirse Ashwin's plans are derailed when shamans attack and kill her best friend, Sayengo. And then Saoirse somehow restores Sayengo to life. Unveiled as the first soul guide in living memory, Saoirse is summoned to the domain of the Spider King. For centuries he has used his influence over the Dead Wood, an ancient forest possessed by souls to enforce peace between the kingdoms. Now with the trees growing wild and untamed, only a soul guide can restrain them. As war looms, Saoirse must master her newly awakened abilities before the trees shatter the brittle peace, or worse, claims Sayengo, the friend she would die for. That sounds so good. Like, really good. And let's see, am I going to have fumble fingers again as per usual? Probably. Yep, pretty much. Pretty much a guarantee. Ugh. That hand's a bit numb and that sort of thing, so it doesn't work very well for turning pages. Come on. There. So this is our copy of Forest of Souls, and it's the signed page. It's signed by. And you can see it's actually personally signed onto the page there. From what I heard recently, they actually send out the signature pages to the author. The author sends the signature pages back to them, and basically then they put it into the book when they bind the book. Forest of Souls. I love how they've got like these cobwebby sort of creepy tree sort of details too. It's awesome. And I don't know what the different numbers here mean. Because it's got 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, but it's also got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm assuming this is a first edition. We've got our glossary. Oh, look at that detail on the bottom. Pretty. I'm guessing these are little details we need to know for when we're reading the book about people and everything in there. And that is cool. Look at that. We've got a creepy castle and trees and... Ooh. Love it. Yeah, so that's my Fairyloot book box, June book box. Sorry it's really late, but it really did only just show up kind of thing. But I'm probably actually lucky that it did show up, and I feel grateful that it did turn up. And yeah, it did end up a lot longer than I was expecting to, but I guess I took my time to enjoy it, and I also wanted to just discuss a few things and explain things. And yeah, if you enjoyed this, please leave a like, subscribe, comment. I always love hearing from you. Yet again, another great box from Fairyloot. I'm actually not regretting choosing them at all over Illumicrate. Like, I love Illumicrate's boxes and everything, don't get me wrong, but Fairyloots have really been blowing me out of the park lately when I've been looking at them compared to it. Like, I still look at Illumicrate stuff all the time, but for some reason just lately Fairyloot have been really blowing me out of the park more than Illumicrate, and I hope one day I may be able to rep for them or something like that. But meanwhile, I'll definitely be keeping on purchasing them because, well, yeah, what's not to love about these boxes? For me, just, yeah, something about the Fairyloot ones right now are just talking to me more than the Illumicrate ones. As much as I love Illumicrate, I'm really, really, really loving Fairyloot currently. So yeah, if you've enjoyed this, please leave a like, subscribe, comment. I always love hearing from you. And yeah, I will respond when I'm able. And I will see you later. Bye.